All right, joining us now is CSUN head coach Angie Ned in her second season. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. It's exciting to see you. Look, big smile on your face, exudes optimism. What are the thoughts coming into the season?
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. I hope you guys are both doing well. Excited. Everyone is ready just to get back to games and see what your team can do. It's been a really long off season for us, but we're eager. We're ready to get to work.
Okay, long off season. Tell us more. We want to learn more. What were you able to do in that long off season that is going to help you approach this hoop season that is upon us?
Yeah, the number one thing that was important for me and our staff was just can we get the foundation stronger? So our returners, we really hit the ground running with like really establishing our culture, doing it from a work ethic standpoint, and then recruiting. Can we get in the portal, find some kids, some transfers who really buy into what we're trying to do? And then just making sure that everybody's connected. Are we taking steps forward every single day? And what does that look like from a skill development standpoint? And then what does that look like from a holistic approach? Are we getting better as people? Are we studying the game? Are we advancing our knowledge? And how are we just going to prepare ourselves for next season? So a lot of work went into the off season in terms of just growth mindset from a coaching standpoint, but then making sure that we have the right players that are going to be on board to help us get the job done this year.
Coach, earlier today we had on Renee Jimenez from Cal State, from UC Santa Barbara, and she's in her second year as well. You come from Cal Baptist, where all you did was win, 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 winning the regular season WAC, winning the tournament, and you knew it was just a matter of time before you took the culture you had there and brought it here. Watching your games last year, I felt like you were in points within winning games. It was like this close, and you needed just a little something to get over that. Do you feel like you've got those pieces this year?
I think we're closer. I think the challenge will be can we understand and be aware of time and score? Can we execute a little bit better? But ultimately, can we be disciplined in those moments where it's critical? Can we be tough to box out and secure an extra board? Can we control the glass? Defensively, can we be solid and just make sure that we're all on the same page? We're not over rotating. I think a lot of some of the errors from last year was just from inexperience and us growing through the challenges. But I do feel like we are a step closer to that. But experience is going to be the test of time for us to have opportunities to win. And we got to do it every single day by taking steps forward in practice.
Your commitment to being able to grow this game and be able to compete throughout the season. Tell us a little bit about what you think that's going to take on both sides of the floor in terms of your execution defensively, but your execution offensively.
Yeah, just being strong in our foundation, not wavering away from our game plan, knowing our principles. This year, like we've been really on the hard on the players and just making sure they're bought in, making sure that you understand what our gap rotation is like and securing those last possessions. On the offensive end, can we continue to play with pace and space? Can we have really good ball movement? Can we try and take advantage of transition and advantage plays? But then also, can we execute when the game's a little bit slower? Can we understand that we have the last shot at the end of the quarter? We're going to execute a play and making sure that we're getting the ball into our dominant players' hands so we have the best scoring opportunities.
Coach, before you start Big West play, you take on University of San Diego, USD, but you also take on San Diego State. And if you hadn't been watching, Stacey Terry Hudson had done a fantastic job last year with the Aztecs. Are you up leveling this year with the out of conference games?
I just wanted to put us in the best position to be prepared. I know our conference play is going to be challenging within itself. And if we can go into the non-conference, playing some really tough teams who have excelled and done well, I think having those high pressure moments is only going to prepare us. So we can't waver from that. We can't stray away from it. I know Stacey has done a great job at San Diego State. And for us, it's just can we step up? Can we approach the game playing our game? Can we continue to improve and get better? Can we take steps forwards as a group? And then can we figure out ways to execute and win in the end?
Coach, how important we've seen the game improve in so many areas, but the three ball fascinates me. Just the being able to shoot that long range, and I'm just wondering, you've got the capability to shoot the three, and I'm just wondering how important is the three ball to your game? They offer some long rebounds, so rebounding's got to be the key as well. So there's a little bit of a nuance there with that, but I kind of want your position on where that three ball stands in the women's game today.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. The ability to stretch the floor with shooting, it just puts way more pressure on the defense and making them play you honest. The more shooters you can have on the floor is going to make sure that you're being guarded properly. Can we force the ball with rotation with either attacking and then having kick out threes? And if so, those are high efficient shots. Can we get catch and shoot threes off of a kick out? Can we get it off of a screening away action? And I think when we're able to execute, or any team can execute at that level, it just puts more points on the board. It puts more pressure in the defense. And then before you know it, you can get downhill and finish at the rim a lot easier.
Coach, former Matador Jenna Kilty signs a professional contract to play in Australia. How proud is the CSUN family?
We're excited for her. You know, she played, she did pretty well, and she actually extended her stay. She's there now, enjoying it. She will be returning to campus in a couple weeks just to check out how the team is doing. But she's a phenomenal kid. She's always dreamt of just playing professionally, playing at the highest level, and to see her have that opportunity and just enjoy basketball, and then now exploring a different culture and being integrated into what it's like to live in Australia. I'm just really proud of her and just all the commitment and hard work that she's done to get to that point.
We know international recruiting too. I mean, players leave and they go play, but also being able to recruit internationally. Coach, talk about how the international game and the international style of play kind of mixes and creatively weaves itself into not only the women's game at large, but the Big West.
Absolutely. I think there's several teams that are currently recruiting internationally. For me, I want to recruit the players that fit our style of play, and that could be from anywhere. It could be from down the street, it could be Northwest, and I think there's a lot of talented players internationally that understand the element of the game. And I think it's fascinating to see a player from Spain or from Australia come and play with someone from California and just have this shared unique experience and connectivity on the court. And just the knowledge and how the basketball game has grown internationally has been significant. I mean, you've seen it. There's so many players dominating across the U.S. right now from an international standpoint. So I think it's integral for us to be able to recruit abroad, but then also making sure that we're recruiting at home and connecting those pieces to build the best roster to have success on and off the court.
Speaking of success, Coach, you know, being now in your second season, the learning curve kind of behind you, do you have certain kind of what has been the greatest growth curve for you as a head coach in the Big West?
I think the biggest curve is just trying to understand where my players are, right? I did come from a winning background, and understanding where they are to get them to understand where we're trying to go. So the perspective of the game of where we are in that moment and winning that moment for that moment. And what does that look like on a day in and day out basis? So today in practice, our focus could be heavy on rebounding and boxing out. Do my players understand how to track the ball properly in a 5-on-5 setting, and making sure that we're able to make progress along the way? So I think the biggest growth for me is just identifying where my players are, helping them to understand the game, helping them to understand the bigger picture so that we can move forward together.
Coach, as we kind of wrap up this interview, do you have an idea yet? I know it's early in the season, there's still a lot to be played, but do you kind of have an idea of what might be the key as to what wins the Big West Women's Championship this year? What's that going to be, and what does that team look like?
I think that's a loaded question.
And Jen Gross said consistency.
I'm sorry?
Jen Gross from UC Davis said consistency. So we're good. Well, I like to kind of get some different answers.
I mean, that's definitely part of it. The Big West is interesting. There's so much talent across the board. But I do think the teams who are consistent but locked in and mentally tough and understand just the simplicity of a play, whether it's on the offense or defensive end, and they can actually dominate that and minimize errors, will have the opportunity to win. And who's been in that moment? Experience, it tells a lot, right? If you've had the experience of winning and you know what that momentum looks like at the end of a game or in a championship moment, you have that confidence, you have that poise and that composure. So I think there's a lot of layers to that. But as you know, it could be anyone's night. So whoever shows up and who's dedicated to the mission at hand and has the least amount of errors and can strategize and execute, it's very likely that team will win. So excited to see who that will be this year. I don't have the final answer, but curious to see.
It's
Love it.
interesting you say that, Coach. A lot of coaches that come into a conference say, I'm not just coaching them physically, I'm coaching them psychologically, I'm coaching them emotionally. I've got to get them to reach a level of belief they've never reached before. And I feel like that's what you bring into this picture, that you have aspirations that are here and you've got to get your players to think, come join me because this can be a fun ride.
Absolutely. It's a huge thing. You don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what you've never experienced. And it's our jobs as leaders to make sure that we're pulling the best out of everyone that we're working with and working for. And my job is to serve my student athletes. And it would be a detriment to me if any of them left here graduating or transferring and not feeling like they got their best out of the experience.
Yeah. Well said.
Coach Angie Ned, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited for the season. We're so excited you are part of the conference, and have a great season ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you both.